Happy holidays from Shannon Kringen in Seattle. It is December 24th, 2025, so it's Christmas Eve day. And I just wanted to say, I know that a lot of people are, some people are traditional and with families and doing family traditional things. Some people are stressed out, angry, upset, freaking out, getting upset about all of the drama in the world, all of the negative, problems, all of the things people argue about. I just wanted to share a little bit of my story, which is last night I went to a holiday party that I was invited to in Seattle, and I joined a gym. I am thinking about my family. I'm an only child, and my dad is 3,000 miles away in Florida and he is a personal fitness trainer. He is in his early 80s and he's super fit and healthy and athletic. And his passion is um, being a personal fitness trainer. He used to be a tennis teacher. And my mom's passion is her art and Eastern philosophy and non duality and Advaita Vedanta. So I come from interesting parents, and certain aspects of my childhood were dark and I need to heal. But I'm realizing more and more that there's aspects of both of my parents that are so incredibly, I'm fortunate in some ways. My parents are both highly sensitive and I am pet sitting. So, what my dad is doing for Christmas is he's on the East Coast and he's taken a couple days off and hanging out with his friends in Florida. He lives close to, he kind of has a new family in Florida, his girlfriend and her son. And there's a group of people in Florida basically that my dad is very close to, and he has a community of people that are into fitness and health and nutrition and exercise and sunshine in Florida. So that's like his kind of sphere. My dad's really into music and comedy and fitness, and that's his passion. And both my parents are nonconformists and highly sensitive and more introverted. I'm sort of an introverted, extroverted, introvert, whatever you want to call it. I'm more introverted, but I like to share. And so I just wanted to do a short video on Christmas Eve day to say what's going on with my life, which was last night I went to a Christmas holiday party that somebody invited me to, and it was so loud. Everyone there was so nice. It was a party. Everybody was invited to dress up. I kind of forgot that this was the rule because I had worked out at the gym right before that. I lifted weights and I swam for an hour and then lifted weights for an hour. I joined a gym. I'm going to San Diego for New Year's Eve this year for the 2025 turning into 2026 New Year's Eve. I'm going to be in San Diego, California, staying in La Jolla, California. I grew up in San Diego. I was born in San Diego in 1968 and was there till I was 9 years old, 1970. 68, 77. My mom and I moved up to Washington in 1977. I didn't want to go. My mom did. That's fine. Still have to heal and grow and learn from that. But when you're 9 years old, you do whatever your parent wants. And so that's what I did. So I'm going back to San Diego for 10 days to pet sit for somebody in La Jolla and these cute two dogs. Today, my mom is in her art studio. My mom lives on Whidbey Island in the country, and she's very private, so I shouldn't say a lot because she's very private, whereas I'm more public. So this is my family of origin. I'm an only child, never got married, never had kids. I'm going to pet sit some cats, actually staying with two cats and then checking in on two other cats. So three different households, taking care of two cats, checking on two other cats. So that's four cats total. Um, and I'm a dog walker, pet sitter, art model, medical model. I have the next few days off from art and medical modeling, but I'm going to take care of some pets. And I might have dinner with friends tonight, but it's a very informal, casual thing. And so my mom today is in her art studio. My mom and I already celebrated a holiday. I brought a bunch of food over and we had like a feast with her neighbor that's her friend. And so that was our holiday celebration that was before Christmas. And then now my mom is looking forward to getting in her art studio, and she's a solitary person that likes her own solitude and her quiet time in nature. And so she is doing artwork and reading her philosophy books and stimulating her mind in the way that she likes and being close to nature. So that's my mom's style of celebrating this holiday because she's not really into traditional holidays. And I'm not really that into traditional holidays. I love to take care of pets. When other people go on vacation for holidays, I take care of their pets, or I can do my artwork. And that's how I see traditional holidays is it's time for me to do something else other than just my regular working. My passion in life is my whole life is an improvisational art project, I guess you could say. I'm really having fun with the improv acting class that's every Sunday at the Seattle Center. Um, and I just got an electronic device that will help me do live Goddess Kring music performances. And I'm planning on being in the Fremont Summer Solstice Parade as Goddess Kring. And my dad is doing personal fitness training all throughout the holidays. And that's what he's doing in Florida. My mom is in her art studio in the forest and having a nice quiet time with herself. And I am pet sitting, and that is my family Christmas. So I'm just sharing with you. That's my story. And I got a discount on a gym membership, I'm really happy to say. And it's a national, it's all over the country in the United States. And I'm going to go to San Diego, California, um, spending New Year's Eve and then a few days after that in La Jolla by the beach. And I'm going to be doing that for starting the 2026 by taking care of some dogs and soaking up the eucalyptus. I say eucalyptus sent me back, eucalyptus sent the wind. Diego, San Diego, Diego, Shan Diego. I'm from San Diego, California. I really love it there. I love the eucalyptus trees. I love the ocean. So I am just sharing happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas if you celebrate that, happy holidays, etc. I am trying to stay as close to being natural and human as possible. I was going to say I went to the party last night and it was so loud. Everyone was so nice, dressed up in formal gowns. Everyone looked like they were going to the opera. You know, the lady that runs the party, her name is Beth, and she's a really nice lady in Seattle that I'm friends with because of my art car friends. I met Beth because of my art car friend Kelly Lyles, who has an amazing art car, and she helps run the art car Seattle art car group. We do the Fremont Fair. There's about 50 of us art car people. Um, I drive around in my art car, Opal Moonstone, and I went to the party last night and it was so loud. Downstairs was a little bit quieter, outside on the patio because it was really cold last night, so not that many people were out there. It was more quiet out on the deck, and I had just come from the gym. I swam for an hour and lifted weights for an hour. And so I was really warm, and I'd just taken a nice hot shower. And so I was warmer, and I forgot that it was a formal dress up party. So I was not very dressed up. I had a Santa hat on, and I had a green corduroy jacket and green. I was basically red and green. I had like a bright, festive red and green outfit, but I wasn't particularly dressed up. I wore no makeup. I just, had my natural earthiness. And it was interesting. I feel like when I'm on stage, I'm more of an extrovert. I like to share. I like to be on stage. I like to do these video monologues. I like to model in front of hundreds of people as a figure model, and they draw me, they paint me, they sculpt me, they photograph me. I love to act. I love to do improv. I'm extroverted in terms of wanting to do comedy and music and theater and modeling and acting. I love all of that. But when I go to a party, I more want to watch and observe, and I almost want to like observe people at the party and then write a poem about it and turn that into a song. So that's the kind of introverted extrovert that I am. I'm an introspective, expressive person. And so at the party, it was really loud in there and it was overwhelming to me. And I put earplugs in. I actually put cotton in my ears. I don't like earplugs because they bother my skin. I put cotton in my ears. I actually put toilet paper in my ears to muffle the sound, but it was still too loud. And to the point where it was like I was at a bar. Like I don't go to bars because I don't drink. I don't really like bars unless I'm invited to perform in a bar. Then I would love to go to a bar and be on stage and perform in front of an audience. But I generally, when I went to the party, I feel like I was just observing people and I knew a lot of people that were there kind of. because I'm an art model. And so another art model named Shauna was there, who I'm friends with. She's a really good art model in Seattle. And there was art car friends, there was Center for Spiritual Living friends, there was dog walking friends, there was different people that I sort of knew in different capacities. And I'm glad I went, but it was so loud. I feel like if I go next year, I will dress up this time and I will try the host, Beth. She loves to take photos of people in their fancy outfits and post them all over social media just to share and be friendly. And we had food, and I don't really drink alcohol, but there was alcohol, there was, food and drink and refreshments and lots of celebrating going on, and beautiful Christmas tree and beautiful holiday decorations everywhere. And Beth gave us gifts. She gave me this sparkly rhinestone. It's over there somewhere. I don't have it right now, but it's this nice headband that's really sparkly. Kind of here's something sparkly. Sparkly, woo, sparkly, sparkly. This is a sparkly sticker that I have. Yeah, so I'm a very expressive person. These are self-portraits, Shannon Kringen self-portraits. This is how I express myself. This is me being a model for myself. So that's kind of like the deal is I went to the Christmas party. I felt overwhelmed. My friend that came with me, my music partner, Dave Flowers, he is way more extroverted than me. So he went around and talked to everybody. He's like a social butterfly. He even calls himself a social butterfly. He's very funny. He calls himself Flowers. His last name is Flowers. Dave Flowers, Superflower. Um, I was a little more quiet, a little bit more reserved, and yet several people came up and talked to me, but it was so loud. Like if you're at a loud bar, and in order to talk to somebody, you have to kind of yell. And I don't really like to talk that loud. And what I observe too is very extroverted people that drink alcohol. They get really loud. And downstairs in the basement, there was just a couple people. So I thought it would be more quiet down there. And then there was people down there talking so loud, and I was thinking, do they have hearing damage? Why are they talking so loud? Is it hearing damage, or is it when you drink alcohol, your inhibitions go away and you don't realize how loud you are? Because I was thinking, we're down here in the basement and there's only a few of us, so we don't have to talk that loud to hear each other. So they were still talking as loud as they would talk, as if they were in a room with 20 people all talking loudly at the same time. So, my ideal party would be when people are told to talk a little bit more quietly. But see, the extroverts would feel like they were being shushed and they wouldn't like that. So, when I joke and I say, oxymorons through the door, a group for loners, and they all showed up, I guess that's what I mean. Like, my ideal party would be that people would be asked to talk quietly. And actually, my favorite way of being in a group, aside from doing improv, theater, and acting and singing and dancing, creative things like that, working on a project together, my favorite way of being in a group actually is when everybody is quiet and one person talks at a time and we go around in a circle. And if everybody would share a poem or tell a story, if everybody, like, I think it would have been fun if everybody in the room had just sat quietly or stood in a circle quietly with each other, and everyone would just be quiet, and everyone would go around in a circle and say their name and something about themselves that is unique, or what is their passion, like share your what is your passion in life, or what is your main personality trait that you want to share with us, and just sort of get to know everybody, and instead of everybody randomly talking. But I'm all about freedom of expression and freedom. It's just that when it's that loud in a room, I feel irritated by loud noise, almost like if you're walking down the street and you hear a lots of ambulance and sirens go by. I'm sure most people would agree that loud loud sirens, emergency vehicles like police and siren type sounds is very alarming and stressful because it's an emergency situation. And obviously that's why it sounds like that. But to me, when I go to a party and there's 20 or 30 people talking really loud all at the same time, it is so irritating to me for two reasons. One, because this is my autism or my high sensitivity. I'm sensitive to smell, touch, taste, sound, all of it. So when everyone's talking at the same time, it's physically loud. It actually hurts my ears. Like physically, it feels painful to my ears, but also psychologically, I'm hearing all these different people talk. And then when someone's trying to talk to me and make eye contact with me and look me in the eye, it's hard to concentrate on the person that's talking with me because I'm hearing all these other conversations and it's like blah, 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 like a cacophony of noise. And it's like really irritating and overwhelming, as if like, hearing chalkboard, hearing fingernails scraping on a chalkboard, or hearing music that you don't like played really loud. Or imagine if you went into, if there was like five stereos and there was playing classical, rock, jazz, folk, blues all at the same time, loud and all at the same time. Imagine how bad that would sound. It would sound horrible if you had five different kinds of music playing on five different stereos in a living room at the same time. That's how it sounded to me when I walked into this party. It was way too intense, and yet I stayed there for like 4 hours because I was kind of having fun observing people. But I admit the whole time I had to mask, I had to suppress. I don't even like the word mask, it's used a lot, but I felt like I had to suppress my irritation because it's socially not appropriate to feel irritated. And the people that were at the party enjoying themselves, I don't know how many other people there were irritated by how loud it was and how many extroverted people actually liked how loud it was. Because I know some people actually like being in a room with loud people. Some people like it. I understand that. I don't. So, but I can listen to really loud, Tom Petty. You could put Tom Petty music on the stereo and turn it up really loud, and I would like it, or Mick Jagger or something, and I could dance around like Mick Jagger. So this is my experience at the party last night. Like, I'm glad I went, and yet I had to suppress my reaction to it in order to not get grumpy in front of people, which would be inappropriate. But then I think, well, maybe that's not good self-care for me to do that, for me to suppress how I actually feel and then come home and express how I really feel. So I sort of had fun at the party and I'm glad I went. And at the same time, the whole experience was kind of irritating. And I was just glad that I was invited and included and part of a social group. And yet I can't say that I had tons of fun. And then a couple people recognized me from my public access TV show and said, well, maybe only one or two people. They know that I'm the lady with the art car, Opal Moonstone, and they know that I'm a figure model that's been modeling in Seattle for 33 years, and they know that I am I'm more I'm not a real loud person, although I've done a lot of performing. So like I'm in the Fremont Parade every year and I'm in the art car, um, Seattle art car event. And I do a lot of art modeling in front of hundreds of people. And yet when I go to a party, I just feel like it's too loud for me. And I don't drink I don't like alcohol. Um, I don't smoke or drink anything. I don't even eat a lot of junk food. So I'm really into my health and my nutrition. I joined a gym. I got a discount. When I go to San Diego, La Jolla, I'm going to work out there. I'm lift weights and swim every week, a few times a week. And I like to get my favorite exercise is just walking out in nature, getting out fresh air. So I just wanted to share that's my story for now. I'm excited about going to California. I'm excited about improv acting. I'm excited. I'm in the new movie Fantasy Egg It's a Mattress. The follow-up to that movie is called Crystal Ball, and I have a small part in that. I have three lines. I'm playing somebody's mother in a bathrobe. I'm excited. I get to dub my voice. I'm excited about acting. I'm excited about improv. I'm excited about Dave Flowers and I are going to release new music. So I'm going to be pet sitting over the holidays and going to San Diego at the beginning of the year. And I continue to art model, medical model, pet sit, dog walk. I look forward to, for my mental and physical health, swimming and lifting weights every week. And throughout my life, I've been exercising since I was 13. I've always been like a little chubby. Eating a lot of calories, and yet I really care about mental and physical health. And so I'm kind of this person that wants people to love their bodies the way they the way they are, love yourself the way you are. But at the same time, I do believe in muscles, in the strength, the body and mind, the fitness of the body and the mind, mental and physical health. I don't believe in watching a lot of garbage media, mass media that's a bunch of garbage and gossip and negativity. I'm not into that. I'm into eating healthy. I'm into exercising and eating healthy and lifting weights and swimming and doing free speech and creativity and individuality. I see everybody as an individual, and I don't necessarily jump on bandwagons that are politically correct, other than following my heart and soul and being sincere. So these are some of my ideas: staying close to nature, staying human. I'm going to go take care of some cats soon. So happy holidays, everybody. I just wanted to catch you up on that. You can look up Kring Flower, Goddess Kring Music. We're on streaming on all the platforms. I will continue. My whole life is an improvisational art project, basically, and art, music, theater, dance, singing, acting, visual art, all of it. I love to do all of it. I'm looking forward to being in La Jolla, California, and hanging out with the sea lions at La Jolla Cove. It's an amazing place, and I'm happy that I'll be pet sitting within walking distance of La Jolla Cove, which is unbelievably amazing, and I'm so grateful. I'm going to take beautiful nature photos of eucalyptus trees and sea lions and swim and lift weights and swim in the ocean, be at the ocean, and also swim in a pool and lift weights. And so now let's start uh, taking care of some cats. I'm going to take care of 4 cats today, I think. Okay, have a good holiday, everybody. Whoever's listening to this, thanks for being here. Bye for now. Look up my music and my poetry and my photography. I'm going to be featured reader at C&P Coffee with Poetry Bridge. I'm excited about that in March. I think it's going to be March 18th. It's going to be a Wednesday. I think it was going to be Wednesday the 11th or whatever that Wednesday is, but instead it's going to be March 18th, 2026. I'm going to be a featured reader reading my poetry, reading about 15 minutes worth of my Shannon Kringen Kring Speak poetry. Leopoldo is this amazing guy that runs the Poetry Bridge with Ed C&P Coffee once a month, and him and his wife have the Poetry Plaza where they share poetry and art of people in part of West Seattle. I'm excited to be part of that group. That is a nice, welcoming community of poets and writers. And I'm happy that I saw my comedy teacher, Dan Hurwitz, recently do his disabled comedy extravaganza. I forgot what it's called, at Northwest Film Forum. I'm happy that I'm going to be art modeling at the Cannonball Arts in downtown Seattle on, what is that, December 27th, coming up here in a few days. And I'm just excited and happy and grateful. I tried to land myself some figure modeling gigs in San Diego, La Jolla, California, but I think they're already booked up. But I was just rolling the dice on that to see, because I have modeled in other parts of the country when I've traveled to Trenton, New Jersey, and Philadelphia. And I've modeled once in San Diego at Balboa Park at the Museum of Man, which is now called the Museum of Us. I have done some modeling in different parts of the country. Portland, Oregon, I modeled at Hip Bone Studio. That's a cool place in Portland. There's all kinds of like figure modeling possibilities in different parts of the country. I was thinking I could model in New York City at the Art Students League. If I pet sit in Manhattan sometime, I could pet sit in Manhattan and then model at the Art Students League. That would be an amazing way of having an affordable trip to Manhattan, because New York City is so fascinating. I've been there a couple times, and I love Central Park, and I know somebody that works at the Museum of, let's see, the MoMA, Museum of Modern Art. He's a projectionist, an artist named Fred Hatt, I think is his name, but I'm just rambling. But I know a lot of interesting people in the world, and I like to just put myself out there. And I guess that's the part of me that's more extroverted. The part of me that goes to a party, I guess it gets overwhelmed by the noise, and yet I'm observing everything and wanting to write poems and stories about what I observe. And so I'm more of an observant person. I think Bob Dylan talks about this. I think my personality is a little bit like those Patti Smith, Bob Dylan kind of people that like to be with people and observe and then write songs or poems or stories about what they observe and then get on stage and express it. That's kind of my personality, actually. Uh, yeah. I'm not saying that I'm on the same level as Bob Dylan and Patti Smith, and yet I think of those people when I watch them interviewed. I think of those kinds of people, people that like to be in groups and then they write. I guess writers. When I'm around the Poetry Bridge people too, I feel a kinship with people who listen. Actually, that's what was most amazing about it. That's why if I contrast the Christmas party where everybody's talking and it's hard to hear anything and it's hard to listen and it's everyone's expressing themselves and it feels kind of competitive in a way and like, oh my gosh, how are we going to really listen and communicate? What's the point of this other than trying to have fun? But then when I go to the Poetry Bridge, we clap for each other, or the improv acting, we listen. What I like about going to poetry readings where I share my poetry and I sit in the audience and I listen to other poets. I like both. I like sharing a poem with a microphone and having people clap and listen. It's amazing to have people listen. And then I also like to sit and listen. So I like to give and receive, sharing and listening. And so I think that that's the kind of group environment I like, where there's a group of people and everybody listens. One person at a time is talking and then everyone else is listening. Or you could do improv theater acting where there's multiple people talking, but everyone else in the room is listening to the people, where we are basically audience and performer. We go back and forth between being an audience and a performer. I think that is my favorite way of being with a group of people. I also like it when I'm at the gym working out and lifting weights and being around other people that are into physical fitness and taking care of their bodies and enjoying themselves. So when I swim in the pool, I'm observing that people are enjoying being in the pool and being playful and taking care of their bodies and being physically, expressing physical strength and using their body in a fun way through exercise in the pool and then lifting weights. I like being around that kind of energy of I like physical fitness people, I like creative people. So I'm doing this video monologue just to share. I'm going to listen back to this monologue and just learn from it. I like being around people that are into physical fitness, not from a shallow perspective of vanity and like, look at me, I look perfect or whatever. I'm not talking about that. There's nothing wrong though with lifting weights and being physically fit and being proud of yourself and feeling happy that you're physically fit and celebrating your fitness. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that, but not in a very mean, vain kind of competitive way that you're making fun of other people that aren't fit. That's not what I'm talking about. That's kind of a more shallow, egotistical. I'm just talking about actually feeling happy from the inside out, like lifting weights and feeling good, like getting endorphins and dopamine from exercise and lifting weights and feeling good in your own body, getting being in touch with your own body and embodying freedom of expression, physical fitness and improv and creative expression, acting, creating, performing. The play that I was in a couple months ago at the Seattle Center, I had a lot of fun doing that. I got to dance around, tell a story, and sing to my song, Cactus Hugging Vulnerable Viking. And um, what was the other song that I did? God, now I'm forgetting. We have 25 songs. Cactus Hugging Vulnerable Viking, dumpster diving boots, of the story of the hand painted boots that I threw in a dumpster and then I saw them for sale in a secondhand store, and involving Tori Amos and Tom Petty. I painted a top hat for Tom Petty, painted shoes for Tori Amos, ended up meeting her but never met Tom Petty, who widens my jetty. Long story. So that's just some of my rant for today. This is just some of the stuff that makes me tick. And I'm curious what makes you tick. If anybody's listening to this aside from me, because I'm not super popular on YouTube, and that's okay with me, whatever. I just do my thing and I don't have control over how popular I am. So please like and subscribe if you want. And feel free to share in the comments, what is your passion? What do you like? What makes you tick? What makes me tick is freedom of expression, is right now, physical fitness and artistic expression and mental and physical health and finding the balance, staying close to nature. These are some of my passions and the freedom to keep evolving, learning, growing, and healing as a human. I say, see an enemy set free. See an enemy set free, meaning I'm highly sensitive and I'm like a see an enemy. And if you poke me, I shrivel up. And at the same time, see an enemy set free. Don't waste your time. There's a song I wrote called Outsmart the Gaslighters. And I say, see an enemy set free, the right to be wrong, the wrong to rewrite reality. These are some of my poems, um, my poetic words that pop into my head and I write them down. Don't waste your time hating your enemy. Acknowledge what you think the enemy is and then build up. For me, this is my own personal philosophy for me. Build what you want more of in the world instead of trying to fight against what you think is wrong. Maybe some people do need to fight against what's wrong. I don't know. But for me, I feel like I am I serve the universe in the best way when I acknowledge what bothers me that's wrong in the world, and then I build up what I think is good in the world. And I try to help build bridges with that. So, with freedom of expression, with physical and mental fitness, with mental and physical health, because when I exercise, I feel like that's as much for my brain and my mental health as it is for my physical body, my brain, my bones, my muscles, my joints, everything about my body. I sleep better, I digest food better when I get enough exercise. So, and get enough natural light, stay close to nature. So, creativity, freedom of expression, and this would be my passion. See, my mom is into doing her art and her Eastern philosophy and wisdom and having solitude and close to natureness. And my dad is into physical fitness, comedy, and music. Those are his passion. And I feel like similar. I feel like I'm definitely absorb a lot of that from my parents. I have an interest in nature, solitude, spirituality, Eastern philosophy, wisdom. I'm not an atheist, but I'm a very spiritual person, but I'm not religious, but I'm also not an atheist. I'm spiritual. I'm like, and I am into my main passions in life are, well, freedom for one thing, freedom of having an improvisational life in terms of creativity, but physical and mental health and creativity and artwork and doing things for a living that I believe in that are creative. So I'm really grateful for all of that. So happy holidays to everyone, and that's all for now.